And welcome back to my channel. I'm pleased to report that I had my COVID jab, my fourth COVID jab today, Pfizer at 9:30. It was stressful and anxiety provoking, but I dealt with it as well as I could. My way of dealing with it was just to deal with it when it happened, not to try not to get too stressed about it before it happened, and just to deal with it when it happened, sort of thing. There's always an initial uptick of anxiety because I just find it anxiety provoking, for all sorts of reasons. So yeah, I've just been spending the last hour and a half kind of basically not doing much, just kind of processing it, because it takes a lot of anxiety and a lot of effort, to have these vaccinations, but I'm just really pleased and relieved that it's done now, because I was getting worried about it. Now I can put it behind me, at least until the next time, but that won't be for some time now, so I can put that all behind me now. Yeah, I didn't feel the needle go in this time. With the flu one, I felt it go in. She did it on the opposite arm. I decided to have it on the opposite arm, although she said I could have it on the same arm as what I had the flu one on, because it's a week apart. Because on my OCD and stuff, I always want to be extra. I don't know. I think I would prefer to have it on the other arm, just in case it extra messes up the other arm or something. I know that's completely illogical. It's just the way my brain works. So yeah, so she did it on the other arm. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if I get any side effects from it. I expect an achy arm, because I've had an achy arm after, well, for COVID one, I've had an achy arm after all three, although the first one wasn't too bad. The second one was very achy, the third one was between the second and third. So I expect an achy arm, and I can do, that's fine, it's an expected thing, so I won't be surprised when I get that achy arm if I get it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I expect I'll get it. If I don't, that'll be great, but I expect I will get an achy arm, because I've had an achy arm after every COVID jab. But yeah, I'm just very relieved that I've had it now. I won't start to feel I won't be fully protected, obviously, until about 2 weeks' time. I think after about 7 days you get some protection, about 5 to 7 days, although it's possible I'll get protection a bit sooner after the fourth than say the other ones, because I might already still have some protection from the other ones, so it might mean it takes quicker for the protection to kick in, because it's like boosting as opposed to starting from a blank slate. But yeah, I won't feel fully protected till about 14 days, although I probably will have some protection at about 7 days. I'll start to feel a bit more secure at about 7 days, but I won't feel completely secure until 14 days, basically. And I'm really hoping that I can make some small adjustments to my life. I'm not expecting any major adjustments to my life, because COVID, unfortunately, is still out there. No matter how many vaccinations you've had, unfortunately, you can still catch it, which is kind of annoying. It doesn't stop you from catching it, but it does mean that if you were to be exposed to it and catch it, you should likely get it incredibly mild, or a lot milder than you would if you hadn't been vaccinated, which is obviously reassuring. But unfortunately, you can still catch it. So in an ideal world, it would stop you catching it completely, but unfortunately, it doesn't stop you catching it completely. I wish. But yeah, I really hope that I can make some adjustments to my life. I got some fabric masks which arrived yesterday, because I really want to be able to walk down passageways again, because there's quite a few areas that I can't go to because I can't walk down passageways, because obviously down passageways it's harder to avoid people. But I'm really hoping that 2 weeks after, when I feel more protected, if I wear a fabric mask, maybe I can walk down a passageway and go a different route, because I know logically it's very hard to catch COVID outside, and it's very safe, and that it's just the way logic and feelings work, and so if the feeling side of me doesn't meet the logic, what I know and what I feel, because with OCD it's all about doubt, and you want to be not just a bit safe, but you want to basically take away any doubt. That's what OCD is. The only way to take away any doubt is to completely avoid, and that's what OCD is, but unfortunately that makes your life very, very, very narrow. So I have to kind of try and meet some middle ground where the risk is still extremely low, but where I'm not completely minimising my life. And I know logically that it's not a big risk to walk down a passageway, out even without a mask, you know. It's not like you're outside, it's not like you're near anyone for long, but wearing a mask, you know, will just make me feel a bit more protected, you know, because, you know, it's always an element of uncertainty when you're walking past people. What if they cough? What if they sneeze? You know, obviously wearing a mask will make me more protected because of that uncertainty, which most do find very difficult to deal with. But yeah, I'm really, really hoping, we'll see. I'm not expecting any magic bullet because I know that's just unrealistic, but I'm really hoping I can make some minor adjustments to my life, but we'll just have to see. I can't say hand on heart because I don't know. It's definitely going to make me feel more protected. It will definitely make me actually physically be more protected. It's the best I could do for myself because I really do not want to catch COVID because I cannot deal with illness. Like, literally, I'll get panic attacks at the best of times. So, in terms of protecting my mental health and my physical health and doing the best I can for myself, it's very important, but I don't know you know, how much effect it's going to have going forward. I really hope I can see my dad in the garden. That would be absolutely massive. My dad's looking for a table still, but just getting a basic plastic table. I mean, if I could have tea with my dad in the garden just outside the kitchen door in a sort of nice little sheltered bit, and have some tea with him, you know, over lunchtime, that would be really good. But like I say, we'll just have to see. That would be amazing if I could do that. So yeah, I'm just very pleased that I've had it. It's a massive weight off my shoulders because I was really worrying about these vaccines for ages. They're never as bad as you think. It's just all the way my brain kind of constantly catastrophises and builds things up and builds things up. The actual vaccination is just so quick, it's like done. It's just my anxiety, you know, causes all the problems. I think probably the more I have these vaccinations, I'm expecting that eventually I won't feel so anxious over them because I'll just get so used to them. You know, like when you have vaccinations often enough and it just becomes part of your routine, like at least once a year, I'll be having these vaccines and maybe in time my anxiety won't be as high. You know, I think that's likely because you just get used to it. Just become part of my routine, part of what I do, and maybe in time I'll be able to have them like normal people in a clinic instead of having to have home visits, but I'm not at that point yet. But yeah, so I'm just very pleased it's all over. It's a great weight off my mind, but like I say, I haven't really been able to do anything because I'm just still processing it. It literally takes me ages to process things like this. I literally cannot do anything else because it's like my brain is still processing it. So I can't really do anything productive after something as momentous as this. Like, I know for like normal people, like having vaccination is just like doesn't take over their whole day, but I'm not a normal person. For me, it literally takes over my day and then some, just because my brain has to process it. This is such a massive deal for me. So yeah, but I'm just so pleased it's over now. It's a bit like when you've been worrying about an exam. Well, obviously it's not quite like an exam and it's not quite comparable to an exam, but it's a bit like when you've been worrying about an exam for ages, again it's all over and you sort of feel a sense of euphoria and then you can't really do anything else for ages because you're like processing it, or certainly that's kind of how it is for me anyway. But yeah, I did it and I'm really pleased I did it, and it's really good when you've done something that causes you so much anxiety as well, because it shows you can kind of, at least in some circumstances, I can defeat the anxiety. I think when my brain knows that, I think because in this case the anxiety is, I can kind of logically work my way around the anxiety because I know that vaccination is the lesser of two evils, whereas obviously like anxiety, and then obviously there's other types of anxiety that it's harder to work my way around. But in this case I could work my way around it because my logic kicks in and because it's got a clear outcome and I know exactly what the outcome is, and I know that it's short-term pain for long-term gain sort of thing. But yeah, so moving over to, yeah, it's done in this arm by the way, and I can feel it very slightly, you know, it's like a sort of slight, well, I can feel it basically, like, you know, get kind of after effects of a needle. Yeah, it probably will start aching later, but yeah, better than having COVID anyway. Right, so moving over to video number 2 now.